Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Dragon Ball The Breakers. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm Zero. Let's get to it. So today we're talking about the good and the bad of Dragon Ball The Breakers, but before we get to that, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and ring that bell to be notified of all future episodes as soon as they go live. So let's get into it. So this time around we're being the Raider, and not only that, but we're being Majin Buu, which is one of the more challenging non-meta Raiders in the game. So, talking about the good things and the bad things in Dragon Ball Breakers. First off, I want to say that there are 3 different queues that you can go into when you're playing online. You can play as a survivor. Just queue up as a survivor. You can queue up to be a Raider, or you can queue up to be in the flex line, which is you have a preference that says, I would prefer to be the Raider, but I'll get into the first group of 8 people that I can. And if that means I'm a survivor, then it's okay. As long as I just want to get into a game kind of thing. But you kind of build up an invisible currency towards that Raider queue. So every time you play as a survivor, then you are one play closer to being a Raider. Now, the problem with the queue system is I went into the Raider queue a couple times, and then I got into a game, and then it turned out that I was in a survivor. So why even have a queue for the Raider if you're just going to put the person in as a survivor? Which I did not understand. Either have like survivor queue and then just a flex queue and not have a Raider queue, or have a Raider queue and say, it's going to take longer to get in as a Raider, and do it that way. Or, after a certain amount of time, be like, hey, we realize this is taking long. Do you want to go into the flex queue? And then flip them to the flex queue and then go that route. One of the other good things is that, you get to see some of the characters that you don't normally or wouldn't necessarily see or get to play as in a normal Dragon Ball game. Like the, quote, weaker people like Oolong or Bulma, and you get to do that as a survivor, or you can. There is a decent amount of customization, so you can customize how your survivor or Raider acts, and it's upgradable, so you feel that you're more powerful the more you play. So that's great. Now, playing the game, it's a lot of cat and mouse, a lot of hide and seek. And as a Raider, that's great. Every time you go in as a Raider, every time that I've played as a Raider, I had a good time. Win or lose, I had a good time. Survivor, there were some times that I played as a survivor and I would wait for 2, 3, maybe even 5 minutes to get in the flex queue as a survivor, and then when I got in, then I got taken out in like 1 or 2 minutes. So there are some problems with you have to wait a certain amount of time, and then when you get in, you get taken out right away, or you have the potential to get taken out right away. Part of that is learning, like where you can go, where you shouldn't go, where what places are better, how it is easier or harder to be hidden or to be found. So that's all partly learning. And the game's been out for a year, and how many people are going to play, because it was a PS Plus game for November, how many people downloaded it? They either didn't play it, or they maybe played 1 or 2 games and they're like, all right, this isn't for me. And then the people that are left are the tryhards or the people that have been playing for a while, so they already have that experience. So keep that in mind when you're playing, that you might have a little steeper learning curve because you already have people that have more experience than you in the game. And you'll know that right off the bat when you come in. If someone has, a survivor level of 200 or a raider level of 80, it's going to be one of those types of matches. So along those lines, if you're on the winning team, even if you aren't able to contribute considerably, so survivor, then you're still going to feel pretty good about how the match went. Because even if you're the lowest man on the totem pole, so to speak, your length of time in an enjoyable match is going to be considerable compared to if you get into a match and get taken out right away, or if you're in the survivor queue and then your team ends up not winning in the end, which is always a bit of a problem too. So, I mean, not everyone can win. It's part of the game. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But I feel like when you're on the winning team, whether you are the top survivor or the bottom survivor, it's more likely to be enjoyable. And if you're the raider, it's generally you have a good time whether you win or lose. But if you're a survivor and your team ends up losing or you get taken out really, really quickly, then it's not as great of a time. But that's my opinion. And lastly, when you are playing, especially in the beginning, as a survivor, you can feel like you're running around and not actually accomplishing anything, versus when you're a raider, just finding a survivor, you can feel pretty accomplished. So survivors, they've got so many different items that they can get. They can get they can get power cubes, they can get Dragon Balls, they can get different items, they can get radar. And when you don't get those, you can feel like, man, what's going on? What am I doing? Etc. And it's not that you feel like maybe it's not for you because you're not able to find these items. Partially it's knowing what's going on in the game itself, knowing map awareness, knowing where things are at in general. So those are all important things that you can only get through experience. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check us out on social media, and thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and we'll see you next time.
PlayStation